listeners. My name is Kemigisa Jacky. Welcome to Imokili.tv. I'm in Kamocha at the Bayimba Foundation. It's an arts foundation. It's an arts academy. It offers arts. Arts is got to do with writing, painting, music, name it. So I'm going to interview Faisal Kiweewa, the director of Bayimba Foundation and Culture Foundation, who will tell us more about the arts in Uganda. Thank you very much. Follow me. My name is
Faisal Kiweewa, and I am the director at Bayimba Foundation, which is one of organization that we work for the arts. And basically we were founded in 2006, and since then we've been presenting art in different platforms or different forms. So basically, yeah, that's what we do.
When you talk of arts, what do you mean?
Arts in general, we don't have a specific discipline that we focus on, but we do. We are multidisciplinary. We present art from all disciplines: dance, music, theater, photography, visual arts. We do film, we showcase dance, we showcase, even we have disco. When we came on the market, it was very important to be different from what was already offered. And when we looked around, according to our assessment, we realized that there were so many events and activities that were happening that were discipline specific. Let's say film festivals or dance festivals or whatever. But then we were like, what are we going to offer that was different? And we thought coming on the scene in a multidisciplinary presentation would make much more sense. But also we looked at it as a way of uplifting other arts disciplines that are not really popular.
So when you say we, you keep on referring to we, yeah. What does the we contain?
We means me and my team. I mean, we built all this organization together, and we started as young art. We didn't know exactly what we were doing, so but we were excited and ambitious and passionate about the arts, and we've grown to be good arts managers, and I think we've established ourselves. We built Bayimba as a brand, and I cannot take all that credit, so I always have to refer to we as knew the whole picture, because I needed their support, and I knew I could rely on them whenever I needed. So we've grown to love it, to be part of it, and to program it, because it's something that we feel that we can do better than any other thing.
So what makes you different from the rest of the groups, the other groups in Uganda that are trying to do what you're doing?
I don't really think there is any other organization or event that does exactly what we are doing. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think we are very different. We do what we do because we are still not really monopoly, but we are still the ones really programming or presenting the kind of art we present, being multidisciplinary. But also I think is that we've grown to understand exactly what we need to offer. And also we've learned somehow the hard way, but also in a very gradual process to be effective and program things that are really very maybe connecting to the people and to the artists, but also representing the art itself. So we are very different in that way.
Do you think the Ugandan people or the Ugandan person or the Ugandan artist or artist level would want to associate with?
First, our most visible activity is the Bayimba International Festival of the Arts. This is every September, every third week of September we have the Bayimba International Festival, and it's a 3-day festival. We, as I say, it's multidisciplinary, so we program music, dance, theater, photography, film, and we also have discussions, exhibitions, art installations, and all these things. And what we do there in terms of programming, we do 70% of local programming. There's a local artist from Uganda. And then we do 20% regional, East African countries, invite artists, and then 10% international. We have, it's an application process. We don't really look out for artists. Everyone has to apply. So every October, the calls open. And then we receive around 400 to 500 applications every year. And then we have to assess them. Most of the time we program around 70 acts in 43 days, which is quite a lot. But it's also exciting because we have multiple stages. So we can have music there, we have dance there, we have film there, and they are all running at the same time. So we don't have a problem of programming many activities. We have Doa Doa, which is the regional performing arts market. This is mainly a platform where musicians, producers, festival organizers, promoters meet to do business, to network, to talk to each other, and to find a way of connecting their business. And then the other thing is we also have a strong arts education program, and that's where we do trainings for artists all across music, dance, or whatever. We do workshops, we do master classes, mentorship programs, and stuff like that.
Okay, so you talked about regional. I think there are people who can draw. I think there's raw talent all over Uganda. But Uganda being a country with very many languages. So how would you coordinate? You're Uganda, right? How would you? You're Ugandan. Yeah. Okay, sorry. But how would you coordinate with, let's say, Akaramajong, who has talent? He can sing in his language, but doesn't understand the rest of it.
They're actually fascinating, and what is also interesting about the Karamajong people, that they speak Ugandan.
Very interesting.
Very well. Everywhere we go, even when you go to Arua, they speak Uganda. When you go to Mara, they speak Uganda. We've never found a problem with language in Uganda. It's so weird that yes, people don't accept it, but Uganda is the only language everyone understands.
If we're talking about music, I can just burn a DVD and get all the songs. So how do you do it that the artists actually earn something later from their work?
Yeah, what we do as a festival, I mean, we cannot really do everything from music. As a festival, we are presenting. We present, I think, art. We present music. We present visual arts. We present photography. But what we do is that we work with artists to make sure that they understand why we are presenting them. But then on the other hand, we have an advocacy perspective to that, whereby we engage with people who are involved in these policy issues, like the Ugandan Corporate Society, the music unions, and we bring them on board to have discussions about how can they start dealing with these issues of copyright and regulation. Arts here is still European based.
Exactly.
And
very few Ugandans who actually buy these pieces. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And this one, I didn't buy it, so I commissioned it. Oh. But people don't commission art, don't buy art, local people don't buy art. But because also I think it's an issue of them relating to their art.
I think Uganda as a country, we are, let's say, in an African sort of way, we are artistic. I mean, you can see the way when you go to these sites, you've been to a couple of sites in Uganda, yes. So you can see how, even in history, the way they tried to communicate. What I actually think is people are not aware of this kind of art. There are people who can actually draw, but they are drawing not to express themselves, but drawing to show a picture. Yeah. Like drawing a man moving. Exactly. Yeah. So that is like the kind of art that Ugandans actually, if I see a beautiful piece that has a man walking, and then I could purchase.
But also I think people think they can do these things themselves. Exactly. So we all think we can do art, we can be creative in our own way, so we don't find it interesting to buy an art piece. And also sometimes they are very expensive, so people cannot afford them.
Most of the times they're quite expensive. What about it? Why are they priced in dollars?
Not all of them.
Majority.
A few galleries do price in dollars because
I've been to Mishmash, the gallery. Yeah. There's another in
tulifanya hizo pricing dollars.
And the art pieces were pricing. They literally cut out Ugandans, you know?
Yeah, because the Ugandans are not their target market. And
So
their target market is those guys who come for holiday, those guys who are working for embassies.
So in other words, they're exploiting our talent, but at the same time not giving us a chance
really. I mean,
to
also the artists
buy.
produce work for those audiences. I mean, there's no visual artist that I know
That does work for
that
you.
does work for Ugandans. Of course, they don't say that this work is ready. But if you do your work and take it to a gallery, which prices in dollars, then that means that you're not really targeting a Ugandan audience. Yeah? So that's what they do, and it's not their fault, because they also need to survive as artists. It's part of their job to look for money. We're trying to take art out of the galleries, and we're working with our partners, our visual arts partners, 32 Degrees. They're really doing a great job. So they're trying to work with visual artists to see how art can be seen out of the galleries. And they started last year a Kampala Art Festival, the containers that were placed in different places. The whole idea of this was to have art go out of the galleries and brought to the people so that people can see it in open spaces. And in that way they think that maybe people will not directly start buying the art, but they will start getting introduced to the idea of art. And then in that way they talk to the artists, because when it's in the public space, the visual artists are there themselves, the ones who create the work. They talk to the audience and ask them questions, they answer them so that they can start understanding. And when I read the stories of some of the artists that participated in the Art last year, you find it fascinating, because you find that they also, the artists themselves learn a lot from this kind of engagement, because they realize that, oh, now they're not creating work within their own studios, where they are only alone and they're just painting and painting. Now they're creating work in a public space. And that also drives their, I'm very involved. Schools nowadays have changed because of the situations, the UPE, USE system. Schools don't really program a lot of arts because they cannot afford it. And that has really put down the level of how students engage in these arts. But what we are trying to do as a foundation is that, yes, we know this is a challenge and it's not something that we can achieve as Bayimba. We are trying to work with several different partners, but also with the ministry, to see how we can start including arts education programs.
Music. I love music. But music, what genre are we talking about here? When you say music, we talk about visual arts. We talk what would you call the Ugandan music?
Well, there's no kind of music yet. I think, at the beginning we thought we were going to really focus much more on world music. But then we realized that there is no world music here, actually.
Exactly.
So we just said that we focus on the finest music. And the finest music can cut across. We do program rock music, we do program dancehall, like dancehall artists, the dancehall artists, we do program, traditional music. We do program folklore, which is actually something that I think for me, folklore is like world music. I think it's the true world music, because it represents a community, a society, it represents a beginning of something, so it's very authentic. And we try to also do that. We program folklore. We do program, what else? I mean, every kind of music. We do jazz, everything. We do program it, as long as it's good. Yeah.
So I'm still talking about music. There is, for one artist, actually, this is like a very big problem, because considering the languages that we have, the map, I think we have over 52 languages in Uganda. So the main market is Kampala. It's the city that is like where everything takes place. Then probably will be distributed slowly to the semi-urban places. For anyone's local music to succeed, it has to be in Uganda. If you've noticed, there are artists that start out as let's say R&B. We could say Michael Rose. He started with English, Juliana with English, but slowly, people do not associate with the music, and slowly they start to sing, change and start to sing in Uganda. But where I come from, not everyone understands Uganda. So that way cuts out the other people, you know.
Yeah, but I think people don't buy music here in Uganda because it's good music.
Why do they buy it?
They buy it because they can understand it. We listen a lot to 50 Cent. We listen a lot to Rihanna. We listen a lot to Beyonce. And people don't understand what they are saying. But they buy the music because it's good music. They listen to their music because it's good music. You know?
So what contains good music when you say it's good music?
Good music, I mean, it's something musicians have to think about as you create music. Yes, they tend to create music for the seasons, you know, seasonal kind of, it's what is hot now, the word, what, they have these tag words, I don't know.
Chawa too much.
Yeah, chawa too much or whatever, or chiwani kind of things, yeah. And then once it's done, people want to hear something new. And then they're done, the music is gone. So why don't they create music that can stand the test of the people? Then they will slowly get there. They just need some few years. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and I wish you the best of luck in trying to, you know, change our attitudes. And I hope it actually works out.
Yeah.
That was Faisal, the director of Bayimba Cultural Foundation. Thank you very much.